What's up? What's up, people? How you guys doing? What's crack-a-lacking? What's bismashacking? What's shack-attacking? Hey, we got one hand on the Premier League. Just one hand. It's not done yet, but I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm more excited to win something than afraid to lose it at this stage. I've been saying this for a few weeks now on every stream I've been on. I've been saying this even when I put out videos once in a month or once in 2 months, whatever that. Um, all I care about is 3 points right now. I don't even care about the goal margins anymore. I just care about 3 points. Uh, this is not the time of the season where I want to start, harping on performance and all of that. Yeah, we can get into the performances. We can criticize players that did not do very well, but at the end of the day, this says something about this team. A team that finds a way to just win, but really hard to break down. It's very. I think our style of football, I keep on saying it, is what people need to come to terms with. Rival fans, content creators, all want us to look and play a certain way because they believe we have the squad. In one hand, they'll say, "You guys have the squad." In another hand, you hear them say the players are not good enough. So I don't know which it is, but one thing I do know is this team is really hard to break down, and this team can grind. Ugly football, yes, but they can grind. And if grinding is what's going to get you the trophy after 22 years, then grind your way to that trophy, man. You know, I remember I think it was Flying Eagles of Nigeria years ago. I think it was the the under 23s. I think it was a tournament where we got to the final, but we had played badly throughout the whole tournament. And when they asked the manager, he said, I fumbled and wumbled my way into the final. He was there. He was in the final. He had a chance to go do something and win. I think we got silver medal that year. But the bottom line is this Arsenal team has been overall solid all season. Solid at the things that they are good at, which is defensively, we're good. And we've been solid at that all season. Controlling games and choking games up and annoying teams, we're good at that. We've done that very, very well all season. I'm not going to try to put a different style of football on the team because this is the style that Arteta wants and it's working for him. I'm not going to put a different style of football on them and then use that to beat them on the head. You know, I see people still today after a 1-0 victory against Burnley who have nothing to lose. They could have just come there and just been a party pooper, right? But I see people coming out and instead of saying, hey, one more game to go, we get the Premier League, then we'll see what we do in the summer. Instead of sitting down and just, hey, go breathe. We've done it. We got one hand on the trophy. We just need to win our last game against Crystal Palace. Instead of that, all I'm hearing is, oh, they're moving the goalposts now. This Arteta is not this manager, blah, this manager, that. And I'm like, hold on, pause. What you accused this manager of for the last 3 seasons was that he could not get it over the line. That was the accusation. The accusation was Mikel Arteta does not have what it takes to get this team over the line. Now it seems like he's about to get them over the line, and you've moved the goalpost now to his football is boring. We don't care. Well, I don't care. Let me speak for me. I said he couldn't get us over the line, and now he's proving he can get us over the line. And the fact that he's proven he can get over the line, however he chooses to do it, however he chooses to do it, is going to be it's going to be a good thing, regardless of how people feel about the football. You know, so yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited. It's one hand on the trophy. We're almost there. We're almost there. EPL is it's just there. I can smell it. I can smell it. It's like it's right there. It's right there. And the today the lineup today, the way we set up. I mean, in the first half, I think we struck the bar one time. We had a fingertip from the goalkeeper at one time. There were like 3 or 4 opportunities, and it was just narrowly missed. I think we're just not clinical enough in that first half. Would have probably put 2 or 3 away against them. But the one thing that I knew is as soon as we scored one, um, and it came from a set piece because again the open play goals were just narrow misses. We just weren't clinical enough to do it. As soon as we scored one from a set piece, I just kind of knew that it was over. You know, before I used to have this nervy, edgy thing about Arsenal when we're 1-0 up, where I just feel like the other team can score, they can equalize. But these days, when I watch the games, I just don't have that nervy feeling because somehow this team has showed me that they know how to defend. And even when we let a team come back into the game and score like a 1-1, in some of those games, I mean, many of the times it's happened this season, more often than not, we've actually gone on to still win that game. We've lost it, we've drawn a few, but we've won more than we've drawn. And so for me, that makes it that makes me trust the team a little bit more that they're good at what they do. Do I like the way they play? No. Do I like how they look on the eyes? No. Do I think it's effective? Yes. And if that's the style and they're good at their style, then I don't listen to people who say um that Arsenal is not a good team, because every team plays football differently. Every team plays football. Be good at the style that you have chosen to play. And if you're not good at it and another team is good at the style they've chosen to play, your truth cannot call their truth a lie. You see what I'm saying? It's like that's the weird thing now. We're in this space, in this um content creation space, where social media world, where you know you want your truth to call another person's truth a lie. It doesn't work, especially in football, because there's multiple ways to play football. But kudos to the boys. They did the job. They did what they had to do today. They went out there. They scored the one goal. Kai Havertz. Oof. At first I saw Kai and I was like, you should let Jokeres play, man. And then Jokeres comes in and he's just bullying those guys. His hold up play was very, very good. I think overall the team looked. I mean, Burnley didn't look like they were going to really, really lay a finger on us. In the second half, we slowed things down. We looked a little lethargic. We were tired. You could see it. Mosquera was tired. You could see Odegaard. Odegaard was tired. You could see these players were really, really worn out. Declan Rice looked like he wanted to just lay down at one point. You could see him just gasping. And with all that tiredness, they left everything on that pitch. They left everything on that pitch. So yeah, in the second half, we did look a little slower, tired, lethargic. It did look like that, but we kept our shape. We kept, and Burnley didn't look like they were going to harm us. It didn't look like they were going to be able to do anything. Um, the chances that they had, hey, it is what it is. But like I said, man, like I said, I'm super excited now because I feel like when this season is done, I read something that the Cronkies put out. Let me look for that. Let me look for that image real quick. Something the Cronkies put out. Just give me a second to find it. Uh, Let me see. There's a there's a guy who um it's a post. I saw it today. Let me pull it up on my phone and see if I could find it. If I could find it, I'll kind of share it real quick here. There's a thing that the Cronkies said, that they're ready to pull the trigger for a lot of things. What's his name again? Like come this summer, they're ready to actually. They're not backing down. Let me see. Yeah, I mean, I'll look for it. I'm trying to figure out. Um, I saw the post. It was a post on YouTube. I should have just saved it. Um, I should have just saved it. Don't just, yeah, ignore me. I was That was not smart of me. I should have just saved it. There was a post that I saw. Uh, the guy posts. He's always posting stuff about the Arsenal news, and in that post, it talked about how, not sure, it's not on watch, recently uploaded. Let's go back to the homepage. Let me see whether I can find. Yeah, I'm sure if I keep scrolling through my phone, I'll find it. But anyways, the Cronkies are saying that they want to build a dynasty. Basically, that's what they're alluding to. And if that's the goal, then yes, I mean, we can all dream about the summer and what we want in the summer, but all I'm dreaming about now is the next game. I just want the next game to come, go, and I want it to be a victory. And if that happens, um, that just seals everything that we've worked hard for this season. First and foremost, the season becomes a success to me on Sunday when we do that. Like we beat Crystal Palace, regardless of what the outcome will be for Man City tomorrow. If Man City win or Man City lose, that's on them. That's their problem. My thing is, I just want us to go in and win all our games. The rest of our games, we have one more final, which is going to be against Crystal Palace. We go in there, we do what we need to do. We play them like, you know, we play them like we're literally playing the final of the Champions League. You know, whether it's a 1-0, yeah, that's it. This is the guy. I'm gonna look for it now. Uh, so whether it's a 1-0 or it's I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just follow this guy's stuff because he does a lot of individual, like, single posts. I don't know how. I can't say where he gets his news from, but it's let me see. Is this a short that he's? I don't want to post a thingy that would cost me. No, I gotta mute all the audio. Yeah. Is that him? No, this is not the guy that I was looking for. Anyways, whatever. Um, he always has like a post. Okay, so here we go. There's a post here. That's yeah, breaking news. Josh Kroenke, there will be no standing still once the season ends. Invest again, build a dynasty. This club deserves it. Arteta deserves it. These fans have stuck by you through it all. Deserve it the most. I gotta pull this guy's stuff up here. I gotta find it, man. He's okay. There we go. There he is. I'll go to his post, and then I could share my. Let me share my screen. Um, there we go. I don't need it with the audio. I'm going to share. Bam. Let's put me to the side right here. All right. So this is this is what no, that's not the post I was looking for. He had this post here where he was talking about, yeah, the Cronkies. I don't know if you can see this, and if you can't, what I'll do is I could do a screen grab real quick. I don't know if you can see this, but if you can't, let me do a snipping tool real quick. I'll do a screen grab real quick. Ignore all these things that I'm doing here. I got to do read more first, Dio. You got to be smarter than that. Yeah. Don't save, read more. And then, yeah. Where is it at? Just give me a second to do this real quick, and then I'll put it as an image, and that way we'll be able to. Okay. So let me stop the sharing of what I was doing here. Let me stop sharing that screen. And then let me share screen, and I want to share window. No. Yeah, I want to share this window. It's a snipping tool. I should be able to zoom in. Okay, here's the problem with this guy. Save as. All right, let's just save as Cronkies. Let me stop the sharing as well over there. I'm gonna pull up myself as a full screen here. And then I'm gonna go down into my. I'm just pulling up some files. Sorry, man. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. The Cronkies. All right, so now I should be able to share my screen, and it should be a window, and I should be able to share the Cronkies PNG, and I should be able to come here. And here's what Josh Kroenke and this is what they said. Yeah, my daughter is losing her baby mind here. I don't know why they're walking through this place at this time, but it's almost bedtime for them. But yeah. And it's Josh Cronky. He says there'll be no standing still once the season ends. He says we'll invest again, we'll build a dynasty. This club deserves it. Arteta deserves it. The fans who have stuck by you through it all deserve it the most. I mean, if this is what the ownership is saying, this says a lot. These are the kind of things that I want to look for in my club. I want from my club ownership. You know, the same thing with the players. When you hear the Arsenal players talk about, we drown out the noise and we just focus on our game. You know, we do what we know how to do best, which is our style of football. You may not like it, but we are the best at that style of football. You know, that style of football that everybody's trying to shit on and everybody's trying to put down is the same style of football that got them through the Champions League, you know, unbeaten up until the final now. It's the same style of football that has gotten us to the point where we have one hand on the English Premier League after 22 years. We win against Crystal Palace and we will be crowned champions. It's that same style of football. It's boring. It's not beautiful to look at. It's the ugly duckling. But guess what? At the end of the day, that ugly duckling turns into a beautiful swan when we finally win. Nobody's going to remember the 38 games individually and say, well, guess what? This happened, you played poorly, and so you're not the winner. No, nobody's going to remember that. And for me, that's the most important thing. Getting over the line, winning, and getting the trophy. We talked about how let me stop sharing this. Uh about today's game. I'll just touch on some parts of the game. I know I talked about it earlier, but I'm all I'm doing basically is just let's talk about it here. I don't have any talking points per se. I'm not writing anything out. I'm just freestyling. Um, so today's game, Burnley, I think that was a penalty. I'll be honest with you. I think that the tackle from Kai Havertz was a red card. I sorry, was it sorry not penalty? I think that was a red card. The tackle from Kai Havertz should have been a red card. Now, if they gave it, I would have been upset with Kai for going in for such a tackle because that was reckless of him. But if they don't give it, I'll it brings me back to what I've said about the inconsistencies of the PGMOL and VAR. These guys are that incompetent. We've had calls go against us this season by VAR and PGMOL, and we've had calls go for us. So when people start talking about, oh, Arsenal robbed, we robbed, what's it called, Burnley. I'm like, no, we didn't do anything. Yes, Kai Havertz committed a foul that the referee and VAR should have said, hey, blatant foul, red card, out. But if for some reason they've chosen to not give it, I'll take it. I'll take it because I've seen how inconsistent they've been all season, where they've given some calls against us that they should not have given this season. So when you give me a call that favors me, I'll take it. I'll take your inconsistencies. I'll take your inept approach to everything and your lackadaisical approach to refereeing. I'll take it when it goes my way. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. Yo, sorry about that, man. No, my daughter is here, and she's going to start screaming now, and so I'm trying to see if I can get someone to grab her and take her to her room because she's going to start screaming out of excitement, and it's going to be a lot of noise. I don't know who unleashed my little dinosaurs. They just all came upstairs at the same time. Yeah. Anywho, so yeah, about the game, I think I've said my piece about VAR and referees. I think there's got to be a way to to ref these games fairly because I felt like that was a red card. Because if that was a tackle made by their player on my player, I'd want a red card given. And if they didn't give it, I'll be very, very, very upset. So I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, that wasn't a red card tackle. Kai Havertz would have been the hero and the villain in this story today if that red card was given because he scored the goal, we're 1 up, and then he puts in such a tackle and he gets sent out. He would have been the hero and the villain if we had come back and drawn that game or even lost that game with 10 men. And it will be the first time this season that were getting a red card, because we've talked about this all season. This is Arsenal is literally the first team, if I'm not believing, if I'm not mistaken, that is setting a record for, if we finish the season the way we are going, we haven't gotten a red card or a pen. We haven't, or something like that, a red card and the penalty or something random. It's just a random stat, but it means something to me because I complained about it last season where we drew 14 games last season, and six of those games we played with 10 men, which means in six of those games we had six red cards. Now you can't have six red cards in the season and expect to go on to win the league, because that's indiscipline. Indiscipline is you're doing the wrong thing and getting red cards. Whether it's talking back to the referee, whether it's pushing somebody, whether it's a bad tackle, because red cards don't just come for bad tackles only. They come for silly little things like the referee blows the whistle and you kick the ball and hoof it, and you're already on a yellow card. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be putting your hands in people's faces, chest, shoving players. You should be able to control your emotions when you know that you're the one in the driver's seat. You don't give a chance to the opposition to take advantage of you by dropping one man off the pitch. So I'm grateful that, yeah, VAR messed up. Yeah, I'll take it. But we still have to have this VR conversation. They have to fix this. They have to fix this because it's if it's it favored Arsenal today. Who knows if it will favor us against Crystal Palace? What if it goes against us against Crystal Palace? So these are the issues. So yeah, so VAR today, yeah, I think that's my take on VAR. And then my final like thoughts and stuff about just where we are at as a club. I just enjoy debunking some of the very negative talking points that both the media and even content creators, just the way they phrase things about Mikel Arteta, the way they phrase things about Arsenal. It's those keywords that they use that I'm always like, yeah, I know where this is going. You're building a narrative because you could have phrased it differently, which is the truth is this is a young manager who this is his seventh year as a professional manager at one of the biggest clubs in England and in Europe that has never won the Champions League, and he's taking them to Champions League back to back from a quarterfinal to semi-final to a final in their first 3 years of being back there, and has had them challenging for the last 4 seasons out of the six that he's been there. Literally had them challenging. The first 2 seasons was an overhaul, and he's had Arsenal challenging, even though he hasn't won anything. I think that is, and he's a young manager. That is a story in itself to be told. In as much as I want to win stuff right now, and because of how big Arsenal is, but that in itself is a story to be told that is usually ignored, and he's lumped in as a failure, as a bottle job, because they just want to banter and they just don't want to talk about the football and the growth and the progression. So yeah, I'm going to keep hopping on the progression. I'm going to keep hopping on the positive side of my club. I criticize them when they play badly in the game. I will analyze the game and I'll tell you who I think played badly and who needs to be improved, who I think we should get in the summer. All of that is, I have a personal wish list. But for me, the most important thing is when we put out a team list to go out there to play, I back them in that 90 minutes. Then I can criticize them after the 90 minutes for whatever it is. But if they get me 3 points, my criticism will just be on the style. You just didn't look good, but you got me 3 points. If you can get me, if you can go 38 games this season not looking good and getting 3 points in all 38 games, I don't care. I don't care. I read a comment today on the live stream that I was on. I was in the chat, and somebody said a 1-0 is not sustainable for Arsenal. Why in game week 37? What is not sustainable about it? How many 1-0 games has Arsenal played this season? It's like they just have to write a narrative. Literally, there's one more game to go, and you're talking about sustainability like we have 30 games to go. It's the shallow analysis of this club and the fact that people just want to generate talking points, or generally just want to, say things just to smear whatever it is that Arsenal has done. The original accusation to this club, to Arsenal Football Club and Mikel Arteta, was that he couldn't get it over the line. Now it seems like he's about to get over the line. They've kicked the can down the road. He's not playing good football. And if he switches and plays good football against Crystal Palace and we smash them 6-0 and we dribble and Max Darman comes in and dribbles 6, 7 people, what they will turn around and say, where was that football all season? What do I care? Like, you assume that playing gun hole, dribbling football like PSG is sustainable. PSG has lost more games than we have in their league this season, if I'm not mistaken. They even just lost. They lost their last game against their local rivals, 2-1. and they had their key players on the pitch. Let's not act like they didn't have their key players on the pitch. And they are literally, I think, the best team in Europe. So that is football that is not sustainable. When you play that well and you can't really consistently in every single game, regardless of how good you are, keep that output. That's what's not sustainable. What's sustainable is keeping your shape and making sure that nobody can score against you, being very resolute, being difficult to break down. That's sustainable because teams will be frustrated and eventually they're going to give you a chance. They'll get to give you an opening. And what's sustainable is you have other means and other tools that you can use to get the ball in the back of the net. If it's a set piece, if it's a corner kick, if it's a penalty, you know, there's multiple different other ways that you can score that you're not giving them the chance to be able to score. You're not allowing them to have shots. They're taking shots from 30, 40 yards outside the box. You know, you're not putting your goalkeeper under unnecessary pressure. That's sustainable football. And we proved it this season. It sustained us till right now where we have one hand on the trophy. So if you want to talk about, oh, it's not sustainable, you're wrong because that same style of football has been played from the beginning of the season till now. And that's what's gotten us to a Champions League final as well. And gotten us to a point where we have one more game before we win the trophy. So yeah, that's just to address the sustainability thing. And, you know, honestly, I'm chuffed. I'm just happy. I'm at that stage right now. Yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for, you know, let me see. I know I saw someone in the chat. I wanted to appreciate you, man. Yeah, more Arsenal. Thanks, man. Thank you for coming by. Appreciate you. I'm going to end the stream now. And yeah, peace out, people. I'll see you guys soon.
On the pitch, yeah, the pressure is rising. One goal